You can get your horror figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description, including orders for the Halloween Kills, Michael Myers.
Horror, kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors. It is Steven here, and hey, happy Halloween to ya. Today we're going to be taking a look at Halloween 2, Michael Myers. No, not the sequel to Halloween 2018, the sequel to the original Halloween. And we're going to be taking a look at the Halloween 2 Ultimate Michael Myers. Now, for this release, it's a little bit divided. This one came after the retro cloth Michael, and the head sculpts don't quite match up to what some folks would deem accurate. And right now, NECA has confirmed a 2-pack with Dr. Loomis. And interestingly, NECA even said they were going to go for more accurate head sculpts by shrinking down the retro cloth release head sculpts and putting it in that box set. And that box set also comes with a lot of the accessories you may see here. So what's the deal? Is this one even worth considering now that we have more options on the market? And even another Halloween 2 Michael that's going to get released. I'm referencing Halloween Kills. So let's just cut the chit chat and see whether or not this potentially now completely outdated figure is worth adding to your collection. And the spoiler for that is, if you like Halloween 2, the answer is yes. Now, something to really keep in mind here is back when this figure released, it was all around the same time that NECA was doing their 2018 Michael Myers, Roy Burns, and of course this one. So a lot of folks were speculating that they were just going to go ahead and reuse the same body sculpt for all of them, but lo and behold, they're different. Well, at least for the most part. I mean, I don't have them all side by side, and I don't have Roy Burns, so hey, you know what? They do look different enough to their respective movie appearances, so they're all unique and individual, which is good for NECA. They really do like to reuse their parts. Now, with that being said, for the jumpsuit of Michael, he looks good. He has all of the battle damage you would expect for Michael from his appearance in this movie, including for how many times he was shot, which I forget. How many times was he shot?
I shot him 6 times.
One more time.
I shot him 6 times.
Could you say that again for those in the back?
I shot him in the heart. I shot him 6 times.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Loomis. Anyway, for this Michael here, that is what is most important. Now, for the head sculpts for this particular release, again, like I said at the top, this one came out right after or thereabouts the retro cloth Michael Myers. And this one got a lot of flack because the head sculpts, well, for this one and the Bloody Tears head sculpt, we'll see in a minute, the head's maybe a bit too wide, and the eyes, ooh, yeah, you can actually see inside and you can see the eyes, which some folks are going to say, it's Michael Myers, you can't really see the eyes. Well, guess what? You can actually see them in the movie. And Mr. Warlock, yeah, not quite a good likeness for what we are able to see. Anyway, and NECA even admitted that they didn't quite get the likeness right to the mask in the movie, and they were going to fix that with the Dr. Loomis 2-pack. So yeah, the head sculpts could definitely use some work, but hey, the detail that we have here is actually pretty nice, and they used their face printing technology here, at least that's what it looks like, underneath macro photography. So kudos to NECA. Otherwise, the battle damage that Mikey has faced here from the original movie is kept intact, and Michael does look good. So overall, there are no real complaints in terms of quality control issues, except from individual unit to unit. Not only this one, but the previous Michael released great, fantastic articulation, except for the torso. But otherwise, I mean, there's not really much more we could ask for. But what does that look like? Well, let's just take a quick look here where we do have a peg for how the heads plug in. So the heads themselves at the neck are going to be on swivels, so they can turn around, no issues. Now that peg is going to sit in on the neck on a ball joint, so we can get the classic Michael Myers head tilt, no issues. You can look up about that far, down about that far. We're good to go. Shoulders are going to be on a swivel hinge combo, so this way they can spin around on a swivel, and then they can hinge up, so this way he can T-pose. T-posing Michael Myers is something you never thought you needed in your life, but once you get this figure, you can do that. Do take note, though, because of his clothing, he is going to have a little bit of a V-cut at the shoulders, so just keep that in mind when you are moving his arms around. Now, he isn't going to have a specific bicep swivel, however, his double-hinged elbows, which is fantastic, NECA, please learn how to engineer these correctly and make them look good, because there are so many figures where this this is the route to go. They do plug in at the bicep and the forearm on pegs, so we do get a pseudo bicep swivel, if you will, and we do also get a forearm swivel. Yay! For the wrists, this should be the standard for NECA. We do actually have a hinge here, right? And that's good. And the hands plug in on a peg. So this way, we get hinge movement like this, and unfortunately, we can't really get a swivel out of the base where that plugs into the forearm, but the hands can spin around. So normally, for some NECA figures, we're just going to have movement either this way or that way. And here, I mean, yes, the hands are static in pose, but we're going to get basically free range of movement, which is fantastic. Now, for the torso, I don't know if we actually have any joints here. It doesn't really seem like it, which is a bummer. But going to the hips, there could have been a reissue of this figure where they went to the more standard style ball joints, which they are doing for their new figures. But here, they're going to be the old style swivel hinge combo, just like they had for their old style Ultimates. So they are going to swivel on out to the front. Michael can kick about that far forward and that far back. Do take note of the, I guess, rubber used here for his clothing. You don't want to stress that and break that over time. And then they're going to hinge out about that far for the splits. Now, sometimes you may get a Michael that is going to have two different lengths legs. Well, what's going to happen there is that, simply put, the joints are connected here. They're just going to be like that. So I do have a video to help you out on how to fix that, which is really easy. You actually saw me create that problem and then fix it right there. Single hinge knees, which plug in at the thighs, they're going to have a swivel as well. I did also forget to mention, now that I'm talking about the thighs and a swivel, thank you for running, Shelly. A thigh swivel here, so this way you can spin it around. Very cool. Now for the ankles, the best ankles NECA ever does. So they're going to plug into the leg on a swivel, and they're going to spin around. Great, fantastic. The ankles are going to plug into the feet on a hinge, so they move like that, and then the ankles are also going to plug in on a swivel. You can see me move them. Tokusatsu Michael Myers. That's what we have here. Overall, articulation is fantastic. And, yeah, we could use maybe some torso joints, but realistically speaking, if you can't get a pose out of this guy, kind of sort of your own fault. Time to talk about accessories and what does he come with. He's going to come with 2 alternate head parts. He's going to come with a spooky pumpkin. Ooh, he's going to come with alternate hand parts, and he's going to come with some weapons. Let's go ahead and talk about everything. So the alternate head parts, like I said, he is going to come with a Bloody Tears head sculpt, which is going to be the same as the normal one, but with bloody tears. All right, he's also going to come with a Ben Tramer head sculpt, which actually does have a different sculpt for the mask. At least that's what it appears. On the inside, it is going to have a designated A marking, ooh, which is pretty cool, and white hair all spiked up. And what's interesting is if you look up close and personal, the eye application on the inside looks much better, and there's glitter on the mask. Very cool. Very cool. That spooky pumpkin. Now, just on the surface, it looks pretty cool. Nice pumpkin detail, some gory bits where everything is carved out, but it opens up to reveal a skeleton, a nice skull on the inside. Mwahaha, very cool. I like this detail. Now, something that I will say, move the skull with care. Yes, that's right. You can move the skull off to the side. The reason why I say that is the first one that I got, it sheared off. Yeah. Talk about quality control. Anyway, moving on to the weapons, Michael does come with a good arsenal for some of the memorable kills in the movie, and he is going to come with that scalpel, a knife, syringe, and hammer. Now, they're all rather small, so he is going to come with alternate hands, so this way, the really small ones he can hold without them slipping, except for the scalpel. That one, you have to do a little bit of a balancing act, but once it's in there, he can hold it just fine. Now, he's going to come with 2 right hand parts, so this way he can hold the knife and the smaller weapons with ease. He's going to come with a default left splayed hand, a more so splayed left hand, so this way he can sort of cover his face after he has his eyes shot out, and then another left hand part to hold weapons. So let me get this straight. NECA included 2 right weapon holding hand parts, 2 left splayed hand parts, and 1 left weapon holding hand parts. Why? They didn't include a right splayed hand. Quite literally, the way that I personally define a really good humanoid release is going to have splayed hands left and right, and fists and or weapon holding hands that resemble fists left and right. They were that close. But once again, on the upcoming Ultimate 2-pack release with Dr. Loomis, we will have that. At least that's what it seems from the promotional picture. So, c'est la vie. Not much of a reason then based on this information to pick this up. But what I will say is the accessories are slightly different. We are going to get a different pumpkin, and we're going to get the Ben Tramer head sculpt with this release. Pretty cool. So, that's about it for the accessories. We're missing flame parts. Maybe we're missing a couple other things, including a stand. And for that, I would say I have other videos to help you out. Now, let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison where you can see, realistically speaking, not that big of a deal. Your average 7-inch scale horror figure from NECA. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. What's going to be unique to this release compared to the Ultimate Dr. Loomis 2-pack release that is coming up is that we're going to get the Ben Tramer head sculpt and the pumpkin. Otherwise, is this release worth getting? I would still say yes. Like the several Pennywise releases that we have received over the years, this would be pretty cool because if you do get this, then you could do a normal non-bloody eyes Michael Myers, and you could do a battle damage bloody eyes Michael Myers. You can do one not on fire and one on fire. And then if you're really diehard, you could do a Ben Tramer as well. So is this one worth getting? If you're going to get the Dr. Loomis 2-pack and you're not a super duper diehard fan of Halloween 2, I'd say this is an easy pass. But if you're a fan of the franchise, this movie in particular, go ahead and double up. It's absolutely worth getting. This is definitely going to be a person-by-person basis. So if you just want a Halloween 2 Michael, wait for the 2-pack and get Loomis. If you want to get everything, then yes, this is an essential. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.